Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making these cute little snakes. You can make one with wire and shape it so that it is in a coiled position. You can make it long. This one, all I've done is tucked him up, spun him around, and then tucked his little tail in so he'll stay in that shape. And then I have also tested it in the plush yarn. If you want to follow the exact same pattern and make him like this. The one we'll be making today is 12 inches long, and you can make him as long as you want just by expanding the amount of rows in the middle and then finishing off with the tail. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and I will also be providing a drop down at the top of the screen with the pattern instructions for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along with. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. And I'll also have the yarn types and colors and the eye sizes down in the description if you want to check that out as well. Okay, I think that's everything, so grab your yarn and let's get started. All right, we're going to begin with the head, and you can start your ring any way you prefer as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. I'll be making a knot with a loop on the end as if I was going to be making a chain. So I just fold my yarn in half, wrap it around my finger, pull that loop down, around, and through to make my knot, and then I want my loop to be just a little bit bigger than my hook size. Then I'm going to insert my hook, grab my yarn, pull through, and chain 1. And remember, that does not count as a stitch. That just attaches our yarn to our loop. And for row 1, we're going to do 8 single crochets into the loop over top of our tail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to grab that tail and give that a tug to close up this hole. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we are going to do 8 increases. So that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 16. So increase 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Increase again, that's 3 and 4. Increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12, increase 13 and 14, and our last increase, 15 and 16. Row 3, we are just going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Row 4, we're going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Row 5, we're going to do the eyes. So we're going to start with 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now for the eye, we're going to do what I call a bobble stitch of 4. So for our bobble stitch, we're going to yarn over, go into our next stitch, grab our yarn and pull up. That's 1 time. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab our yarn and pull up. That's twice. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up. That's 3 times. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up, and that's 4 times. Now you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to go through all the loops on your hook. If you happen to snag one, it's a lot easier to pull it out and start over than to try and figure out which one you made a mistake on. So that's our first eye. So now we're going to do 4 single crochets across, starting in this next stitch after our eye bump. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do our second eye. So remember to yarn over. 1, yarn over. 2, yarn over. 3, and yarn over. 4, and then grab your yarn and go through all of those loops on your hook. And now we should have 5 single crochets to finish off the round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 6, we are going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you're going in the right stitches here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Row 7, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and a decrease for 3, and repeat that around. 4, 5, decrease for 6, 7, 8, decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. Row 8, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, 4 single crochets, 1 decrease, and 1 single crochet for a total of 10. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, and a single crochet for 10. All right, now we're going to add some stuffing and the eyes before we get working on the body. Okay, for the eyes, you got to be a little bit specific on where you go here. If you want them to be underneath the lid of the eye. So what you want to do on your first side, so you're going this way. If you're left-handed, you might be on the opposite side. You want to kind of get underneath that first loop of your bump and go right in between, whoops, right in between that first loop and the bump. Kind of lift up the eyelid as you're putting your eye in. So you're kind of tucking it underneath the bump there. And then when you do the other one on the other side, so this will be the second one, you want to be right in this hole underneath of the bump. So you don't want to be in the stitch line, you want to be in here just so it catches, because when you go in the round, these are going to be kind of a bit lopsided. And if you do it this way, they should look kind of even. So you're going to put it in, but before you get it all the way in, you want to lift up that bump and get it underneath there. So to me, this eye always looks a little bit better than this eye, so you may have to play around with this eye a little bit. So it should look like this. Once you're happy with it, we'll put on the backs. And once you get this all the way down, remember you can't move them. So if you need to adjust and push that up a bit before you clamp it all the way down, do that. So I just saved my last click to the very end. Once I double checked my eyes, this one should be okay. I'm going to click it all the way. Have a look. As I could have been up a little bit more. But and if you're adding wire, I would get that handy now. This is what I use. It's just a rubber coated garden wire. For the little snake, this gauge will work fine. It doesn't tell me the gauge. But if you're doing the plush snake and you want to add wire, you're going to want a heavier gauge than this. So what I did, I'll just get her little snake out here. Mine is about 12 inches long from the head to the tail. So you want to make a little loop for the head and then twist that around. And that way you won't have any wires poking out of the head. And then I just measured the length I wanted my snake to be. So if mine is 12 inches, I measured about 12 inches, and then I added a couple extra inches so I could twist the bottom side and then cut it. If you're making yours longer, give yourself lots of room for the wire. And then you'll just be sticking in the head like this and crocheting around it. This one has wire in it, and I'm not going to be putting the wire in for the video because it was a heck of a job crocheting around it. And then we'll just add a little bit of stuffing to the head for now. And when you do this, what I did was I kind of pulled my eyes so that the posts were coming towards, they're going like this instead of like this. And that will also help keep your eyes looking a little more to the front. All right. All right, now for the body, what I did was 40 rows to get my 12 inches of snake. So I'm going to do sets of 10 rows and then stuff it as I go. So our first set of 10 rows, I'm just going to count to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep on going, 11, 12, 13, whoopsie, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So there's our first set of 10 rows, and now we're going to add some stuffing. So for the first batch, I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm going to try and get it kind of out to the sides on the head, just to give it a little bit of shape there. So both sides, just before the neck, I'm just coming right in here, and I'm kind of pushing it out a bit. Just be careful not to stretch your stitches too much. And then you're just going to lightly stuff up the body. Just enough so that it looks stuffed, but you can still bend it. Because if you make it really firm, it's not going to bend and it's going to be really straight. All right, let's insert our hook again. Flip our marker. So that is marking our first section of 10. And now we'll do our next section of 10 rows of 10 single crochets. So again, we'll be counting to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep on going, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So there's our second set of 10 rows. So we now have 20 rows. We're going to add a little bit of stuffing. Whoop. Oh my goodness. Again, you want to keep it nice and light. You don't want to pack it in too much. So as soon as you feel like you have the same amount, I'll just pull that off. Now we're going to switch our marker again so we know where our first and our second set is. And then we're going to do another set of 10 rows. So 100 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep on going, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So that is our third set of 10s. We're now at 30 rows. We're just going to add a little bit of stuffing. Remember to keep it a bit on the light side. Nice and even all the way. Got a little bit more there. A bit of a bump there. There we go. All right, let's insert our hook back in. So now we have 30 rows, and we're going to do one more set of 10 rows for 40, so another 100 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep on going, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So we're going to add a little bit of stuffing again. Now this is where I'm going to start going down and doing the tail. If you want to make yours longer, I would just suggest going in rows of 10 like we have been, or just make it as long as you feel necessary. And the tail is going to be 10 rows long. So if you just kind of keep track of each section of 10, your tail is going to be about to here. All right, let's start on the tail now. So we'll get our hook back in. Maybe lift this up a bit. And I'm going to go back to using my stitch marker on every row. For row 1 of the tail, we are going to do 8 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a decrease for 9. All right, row 2, we are just going to do 9 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Row 3, we are going to do 7 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8. Row 4, we're just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Row 5, we're going to do 6 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease for 7. Row 6, we are just going to do 7 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're getting really close to the end here, so let's add a little bit of stuffing before our hole gets too small to add any stuffing to. And when you get down to a small hole like this, sometimes it's easier to just get it started with your fingers, and then if you grab a pair of scissors or something similar, you can just stuff it down in there. And I'm overstuffing the tail a little bit so that when we get to the very end, we can kind of squish it back up. Let's just put all our stuffing in here. There's only 4 rows left. So just put a little extra in the end here. Careful not to open your stitches. You want to be pushing it down, not out. Okay, row 7, we are going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 6. Oh, I got the wrong way. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6. Row 8, we are just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. Go nice and slow. You want to make sure you're only going in the stitch you're supposed to. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, And I'm not going to flip my marker anymore because it's just going to get in the way. So for row 9, we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 decrease for a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5. And now we're going to do 5 single crochets around for row 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then if you can, to finish it off, we want to do 1 decrease, and then a slip stitch. And then we'll tie that off, leaving a bit of a tail. And you want to grab your darning needle so we can close that up. So you're just going to thread the end onto your darning needle. And now going in, if you can, the top of the last loops of the last round, you're just going to weave in and out. Here's my last one where my knot was. Then you're just going to give that a pull to close that off. And then somewhere right close where you can tuck it in, I'm going to tie a little knot. And then we're going to just hide that down in through the center. Oh, maybe actually let's pull this stuffing out a bit here. It'll be a little easier once, or easier to do before we pull that thread in there. And then sometimes I'll just give it a little roll to make it even out. And then now we'll stick our knot down and inside. So hold on to the tip of the tail there, give it a bit of a pull, and then cut your end. And then I'm going to just remove my stitch marker. And there we go. I got a nice little snake there. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. And as always, take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.